This is an audiobook created by Subconscious Key Studio. Close your eyes for a moment, just listen. To the hum of the computer, the rhythm of the traffic, the murmur of your own thoughts. This is the soundtrack of the known world. It's familiar, it's predictable. You know your role here. You are the employee, the partner, the parent, the friend. You move through the routines, checking off the days on a calendar that seems to turn itself. But if you listen more closely, beneath the hum, there's another sound. A quieter one. A faint, persistent whisper that speaks not from your to-do list, but from somewhere deeper. It's the whisper of a question. Is this all there is? This whisper is not your enemy. It is not a sign of failure or ingratitude. It is the first stirring of a call to adventure. A call that is echoed through human history in every myth and story ever told. It's the call of the hero. And in the modern world, stripped of dragons and magical swords, this call is perhaps the most daring one of all. The call to a spiritual awakening, to the journey inward. This call doesn't arrive with a map. It arrives as a feeling, an itch in the soul that you can't quite scratch. It's a divine discontent. Let's give it a face so you can recognize it in your own life. First, it's the life crisis that wears a mask of achievement. Picture this. You're in a meeting room and you've just landed the account, closed the deal, achieved the goal you've been chasing for months. There are handshakes, congratulations. But as the chatter dies down and you're left alone with the silence, a hollow feeling opens up inside you. A voice, clear and cold, asks, "Wait, this is it. I did all that for this." The external world is cheering, but your internal world is empty. The calendar is full, but the soul feels barren. This is the call, using the language of success to point out its limitations. Then there's the moment of awe in nature. You're on a hike, or maybe just sitting on a park bench after a long week. The sun is setting, painting the sky in colors no artist could ever mix. And for a moment, just a heartbeat, the constant committee meeting in your head falls silent. The worries about your mortgage, your inbox, your weight, they vanish. In that silence, you feel a connection. A profound, wordless belonging to this vast, beautiful, trembling world. It feels like coming home. And then a car honks, a text message buzzes, a thought about tomorrow intrudes, and the moment shatters. It's gone, but it leaves behind a searing nostalgia for a home you can't quite name. That longing, that is the call. And finally, the catalyst, the book, the song, the conversation. You're scrolling or reading or half listening to a podcast. And then a sentence stops you cold. It's a line from a poet like Rumi, "What you seek is seeking you." Or a friend shares a simple story of their own struggle that mirrors yours with uncanny precision. It's not just information, it's a key. It clicks into a lock you didn't even know you had, and a door inside you swings open just a crack, letting in a sliver of a light you've never seen before. That is the call, handing you the first tool you'll need for the journey. And what is our first, most human reaction to this call? We refuse it. Of course we do. Because the part of us that built this comfortable, known life The ego sees this call not as an adventure, but as a threat. It's the ultimate party pooper. It speaks in the reasonable, worried voice of your own mind. Don't be ridiculous. You have responsibilities, a roof to pay for, people who depend on you. This spiritual seeking is self-indulgent. It's for other people, people with more time, less sense, or weirder clothes. Just be grateful for what you have. Don't rock the boat. This voice is powerful. It's the guardian of the threshold. Its job is to keep you safe and small, and for a while it works. You numb the itch with another Netflix binge, another busy weekend, another deep dive into work. But the call doesn't go away. It just finds another way. This is when you meet the mentor. The mentor isn't a wizard on a mountain. In our world, the mentor is a function. It's anything that gives you the one thing you need more than anything else, permission. It's the therapist who looks you in the eye and says, "Your feelings are valid." It's the book that lays out a path and makes it seem possible. It's the friend who buys you a coffee and says, "I've been there too." It's the podcast voice that makes you feel, for the first time, understood. The mentor doesn't give you the answers. They simply help you quiet the voice of refusal long enough for you to hear your own courage. They help you believe that crossing the threshold isn't an act of destruction, but an act of love for the life you are meant to live. And so you say yes. That yes might be a whisper, but it is the most powerful sound in your universe. It is the moment you cross the threshold. You don't need to quit your job or move to an ashram. The threshold is an internal one. You cross it when you sit on the meditation cushion for the first time, not just as an experiment, but as a commitment. You cross it when you open that journal and write the first, terrifyingly honest sentence. You cross it when you tell a trusted friend, "I'm not okay, and I need to figure out why." The familiar world, the world of your old identity, recedes behind you like the lights of a city scene from an airplane. There's a mixture of exhilaration and sheer terror. You have voluntarily stepped into the wilderness of your own being. The rules you knew no longer apply. Here, in this inner realm, you will not be judged by your productivity, your possessions, or your popularity. You will be tested by something far more fundamental: your capacity to be present with what is. This is the core of the journey, the road of trials. This is where many turn back, believing they have failed. But you must understand, the trials are not obstacles on the path, they are the path. The first trial, meeting the shadow. You quickly discover that the journey inward is not a gentle stroll through a sunny meadow. It is a descent into a basement you've spent a lifetime locking shut. Here, in the dim light, you meet the parts of yourself you exiled. The wounded child who still cries from a forgotten hurt, the jealous sibling, the angry teenager, the one who is convinced they are fundamentally unlovable. This is your shadow. It feels ugly and frightening. Your first instinct is to slam the door and run, but the work is to sit with it, to offer it the light of your awareness, not the judgment it expects. It's the hardest conversation you will ever have, because it's with the part of you that holds all the pain. The second trial, the dark night of the soul. This is the trial that tests every ounce of your resolve. It is a period of profound spiritual and emotional despair. The initial inspiration has faded, and the new dawn is nowhere in sight. You feel utterly lost, disoriented, and empty. It's as if the very foundation of your identity has been dissolved, and you are left floating in a formless, gray void. You may feel more anxious, more sad, more confused than before you started. This is the crucial point. This is not a sign you are broken. It is a sign that the old self is breaking apart. The caterpillar, in the solitude of its chrysalis, must completely dissolve into goo before it can become the butterfly. The dark night is that dissolution. It is the necessary death of the person you thought you were to make space for the person you are meant to become. The final trial, the dragon of resistance. And all the while, your ego, the architect of your old world, will fight back like a dragon guarding its treasure. It will deploy sophisticated tactics. It will mock you. This is all navel-gazing nonsense. It will tempt you. Remember how simple life was when you just watched TV and didn't think about any of this. It will frighten you. If you keep going, you'll lose your edge, your ambition, your friends. This dragon's fire is the heat of your own fear. Its treasure is the illusion of control. To proceed, you do not slay the dragon. You must learn to see it for what it is, a frightened part of you trying to keep you safe, and gently, firmly walk past it. My darkest night lasted for months. I had thrown myself into yoga, meditation, therapy, the whole thing. I thought I was supposed to be getting happier, more peaceful. But instead, I was having panic attacks in the grocery store. I'd be looking at a wall of cereal boxes and just feel this overwhelming terror, like reality was about to crack open. I felt more fragile and unstable than ever before. One night, I remember I just lay on my bedroom floor, sobbing. I couldn't meditate. I couldn't journal. I was just raw. I called my therapist the next day, convinced I was having a nervous breakdown, and she said something that saved me. She said, "You're not breaking down, you're breaking open. Your old system, the one that ran on anxiety and perfectionism, is falling apart. It's messy and it's terrifying, but it's necessary. You're in the in-between." Hearing that there was a name for it, that it was a known stage, didn't make the pain go away, but it gave me a handhold. It made me feel like I wasn't crazy. I was just healing. And then it happens. Not because you forced it, but often because you finally, completely surrendered. The breakthrough, the apotheosis. This is not a thunderclap from the heavens, but a profound and quiet reorganization of your entire being. It's a moment of grace. Imagine you've been straining to hear a distant melody through a wall of static. Suddenly, the static cuts out and the music is revealed, so clear and so beautiful it brings tears to your eyes. That is the moment of clarity. It's the direct, unshakable knowing that I am not the chaotic storm of my thoughts and emotions. I am the vast, silent sky that contains the storm. The content of your life may not have changed, but the context has expanded into infinity. Or it might arrive as a flood of forgiveness, not a condoning of a hurtful action, but a release of the hot coal of resentment you've been clutching for years. You look at someone who wronged you, and you suddenly see not a monster, but a suffering human being trapped in their own pain. The story you've been telling yourself about the injury simply loses its charge. The weight is gone. This is the glimpse of truth. The veil between the separate you and the rest of existence becomes transparent. And for a breathtaking moment, you feel it, the profound, interconnected unity of all things. You are the ocean in a drop, and the drop in the ocean. This is homecoming. This experience is the ultimate boon, the treasure you risked everything for. It is not a final destination, but a revelation of your true nature. And like any true hero, you do not get to keep this treasure for yourself alone. You must bring it back. So what is the elixir you now carry? The boon of unshakable peace. This is not the absence of conflict, but a peace that exists alongside conflict. It's a deep, inner stillness that you discover at your very core. Like the calm depths of the ocean that remain undisturbed, no matter how turbulent the surface waves become. Challenges still arise, but they no longer have the power to dismantle you. You meet them from this place of centered calm, the boon of liberated perspective. You see the temporary, dreamlike quality of all phenomena. Joy and sorrow, success and failure, birth and decay. You see them all as waves rising and falling on the surface of the ocean of your being. This doesn't make you detached or unfeeling. It allows you to participate fully in life without being crushed by it. You can hold it all more lightly, the boon of authentic creativity. When the critical, fearful ego is no longer in the driver's seat, a blocked channel is cleared. Inspiration, which is the voice of the deeper self, can now flow through you unimpeded. This creativity isn't just about art. It's about creatively solving life's problems, bringing novel ideas to your work, or finding new, more compassionate ways to be in relationship. Life itself becomes your canvas. And so the hero must return. You open your eyes and the world looks exactly the same. The same job, the same kitchen sink, the same traffic jam on the way to the grocery store. This is the final, and for some, the most challenging phase of the journey. The temptation is to stay on the mountain top, to cling to the bliss of your awakening. But the purpose of the journey was never to escape the world, but to learn how to live in it authentically. The true test is not in the seeking, but in the bringing forth. You have returned to the same world, but you have come back with new eyes. This is the lifelong practice, to become a master of two worlds, the world of spiritual truth and the world of mundane reality. To weave the gold of your awakening into the lead of your daily life. The practice of mindful work. How do you bring presence to a tedious spreadsheet or a demanding client? You don't have to love the task. Instead, you bring your attention to the sensation of your breath in your body. You feel the weight of your feet on the floor. You notice the impulse to rush to get it over with, and you consciously choose to be right here with this single cell, this one line of code. The task may be mundane, but the awareness you bring to it is sacred. This is how you sanctify your work, the art of conscious relationship. Your relationships become your most potent practice ground. You learn to listen not to formulate your next argument, but to truly understand the human being in front of you. You watch your reactions arise, the anger, the defensiveness, the need to be right, and instead of being hijacked by them, you create a tiny space. In that space, you choose your response. You learn to see the unconscious suffering in others and meet it not with reaction, but with the compassion you have learned to offer your own wounded parts. The power of a calm presence. Ultimately, your greatest gift to the world becomes your own state of being. You may not preach or teach. You may simply sit in a tense meeting, grounded and calm, and without saying a word, you change the emotional field of the entire room. You become a silent, stable anchor in the chaotic storms of life for your family, your friends, your community. This is how you share the elixir without saying a word. And remember, the hero's journey is not a one-time event. It is a spiral. You will descend, ascend, and return again and again, each time meeting new depths and new heights. The call will whisper once more, inviting you to a new threshold. But now you are no longer a novice. You carry the wisdom of the previous journey. You know the map, you have met your guides, and you trust the process. So if you feel that itch, that quiet call to adventure, listen closely. It is the most important invitation you will ever receive. Your path is unseen, but you are not walking it alone. You are part of an ancient and eternal story, the story of the human spirit remembering its true home. Take the first step. The journey awaits.